This is a quick little play analysis, trying to sort of call out some of the things that we could be looking at. Um, Not meant to call specific people out or anything, but really just as we play our game, rather than just high level text feedback, we kind of point to specific things that we could be maybe looking for in the future that kind of opens the game up for us. So uh, let's watch the play first, and then we'll go into the details. So this is off the pull. We center at slash call is made. So we have a nice cut there. Not a great, nothing continuation here. Uh, Gets a nice handler movement to swing it around. Nothing there. Good movement around again to kind of swing it. Have a great in cut here. And then no strong continuation. And ultimately turn it here. So it's fine to have that turn there, but let's take a look at sort of what are the opportunities that we could have been there, and sort of adjustments we could have made. So if we go back, we're about to get to this, right? This is when slash, I think it's already called. And so what you kind of want to be seeing is, right, this guy going across for that disc, these guys moving. Unfortunately, I don't think this guy is cutting for that cut. So something to work on. It's fine. Um, and then, so as that's made, right, we have a great in cut here for the open, defenders trailing. Um, Things to look at here, which is kind of already interesting. This handler recognized that you're kind of just poach, or your man is sort of far away from you. So we have a handler here, right, who's kind of open. We shouldn't have thrown that. This is fine. Um, what's happening then is this guy, when he's about to catch it, he's probably going to be looking upfield, but he's going to sort of see Josh kind of gets in his way. So we'll see sort of what could be happening. Also, good cuts here to get clear this space. Maybe we should get a little bit further, especially this guy, so we can open up this space here. Right? There's a lot of people here that this is the main space that we want to be thrown to for this continuation cut, and we don't really have anyone set up for that. Right? So probably part of that is for that slash cut, timing these out sooner so that it opens up the space. So when he catches, we have cuts going in rather than right now everyone's leaving that space. So catches, right? Great. Josh is still kind of here, poaching away, taking away this sort of space. The thing to look out for right now is we have our handler, who's basically poaching open. Um, I know the traditional thing is to look upline for a sort of throw here. You might be able to see that no one's able in real position, but certainly maybe after a second or two, when you look up, you'll see that there's no one really in position to cut here, and so there's no one to throw to, especially since you have Josh is taking away this. So one thing to look for here, for both the handler and the cutter here, is a immediate throw out to space over here to put this handler in power position. Right, Josh is off right here. You don't want to make this throw here because Josh can still take it. You want to put it out to position over here so that Josh has to run over here to try to D it if they can. Putting it out here creates the separation, right? So this guy should be yelling like crazy. I could have a free power position shot downfield. We should recognize that this is open. This is a great. This is almost what we really want to happen with the textbook sort of slash cut here, because you're kind of in here. You throw to a handler power position, and then the thing for this guy to recognize. I mean, ideally, he should be already right out here for the initial cut, maybe even further at this point, right? This is a perfect when this goes up to the space over here, right? This guy then breaks deep for that S cut. That is a perfect spot to be hitting, right? That is exactly what we want to see from Hostak. Off. That's just 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, right? So we kind of want to keep hitting that, and we're looking for that. as the initial throw. Because, you know, again, from a theory perspective, there's not a lot of folks helping D, right, from this position. This is usually just 1-to-1 here. I think Encore is probably going to be following this guy because this line is going to be, he's going to be further deep, right? So it's 1-to-1 matchup on a power position handler throwing deep. Take that all day. Now we need to worry about, can we actually execute that well, blah blah blah. But we want to put ourselves in the position to have this opportunity to make this 1-to-1 deep throw where he probably would have a few steps on the guy. All right. So that's first part. Um, so here, right, takes it, looks, Josh is in the way. You're really not making any throws here. Even in this case, you could even fling it out too if we need to, right? All right. So other thing here, um, here's a second part. We also have Josh kind of taking away the spot up here, which is fine. Handler right here wide open. What we want to do in this case is not throw here because the lane is still taken. Josh is still here. It's okay to reset, but we're not really getting a positional advantage for the next throw. We also don't want to just throw it here because we still have this defender to possibly take this over, right? So what we ideally want to do is this guy recognizing, hey, I'm poached still. We can just go full over here for this throw. Ideally, we're recognizing as well to push this over. But if this throw goes off, Josh has to run all the way over here to get that disc. So over here, this is wide open break. And then we could also then have easier break side for this for Dumpy over here to go over here, right? And then that's again, we have this space open. So what we're looking for in this case is not that throw a little bit further out. We're set up over here a little bit more too, right, to get that throw out this way. Okay, so once this throw is up, it's good that we recognize that this space is open. Just look at how much space there is. This is perfect. Ideally, what we want to do is this guy recognizing that eyeballs are looking this way. He's naturally probably going to be looking this way. This cut is happening here. All right. Ideally, this guy is not going in here. Right. He's already in the middle. He's activated. I like throwing to people that are cutting at an angle and not just, you know, tied to the sideline where there's only one sort of trajectory that you can go. So ideally, this guy's going in, and then this guy is cutting deep for this follow-on. You should know that this is open. We're going to get an easy catch here. So he's positioning himself further down such that when the catch is happening here, then he's popping in for that cut, right? And so, again, rather than this cut over here, because naturally the eyeball is going to be looking this side because we're on break side now. It's wide open. Let's make this cut in to get that and have this guy cut out, right? All right. So here's the other thing that we're looking at, right? So now no cuts here, which is fine, right? It's hard to make that throw, all that stuff. So we swing it around again, right? So when we're really swinging, we want to see that our handlers are probably swinging again over to get it to center. So part of that is recognizing once this throw goes up, right? This throw is probably happening here. Potentially have a throw here, but what we want to see then is if he's looking over, then we want to make a cut to this guy, right? And because he's kind of poached here, we want to position ourselves probably a little bit over here somewhere to make this cut here. Again, easier said than done at this footage, but see this cut right here probably a little bit early, and it's an awkward angle to be hitting, right? So you could wait and then have this guy activate, or you probably come in here a little bit and make that cut because it is open. The space is open, right? So that's like a little nuance on where you could improve that cut because right now he just called it and there's no one following here, right? Um, so it is so open though. It's great that this guy actually cut out, right, and got the hell out of there and got the defender out. Because now watch this, right? So now this is huge. This is a great timed in cut into that space. All right. So now what should probably be happening is now we have these are our three handlers. This is the next two that are active. All right. So what we really want, if this guy's going into this giant open space, we ideally want to have this guy seeing, okay, he's probably going to get it. And my other guys are back here, right? And so first, this guy should probably move up to rail, and this guy scoots over. This guy's probably going to go around this way, which is fine. There's a great rotation. But once he's cutting in, and we see this opportunity, this guy needs to be able to cut off of this. So ideally, what should be happening is you're positioning yourself in a way where you either get really close here because you're going to go deep, or you're cutting really deep now to get the in. What we see here is we're going to see a giant horizontal cut, which is not great because we want it to be stretching or moving in, right? And so your two, again, sort of cuts are following, and then once he's about to catch, you're booking, and that's the throw here because he's going to catch it around here, right? Or if you feel like you want to just stretch it deep slowly, maybe you're going 50, 70%, and then you go or in, that's also fine, right? But what we want to sort of make sure we're cutting off this guy. We're cutting off of them, right? And recognizing that. So, right, this cut's going to go there, right? And what we see here is this needs to be a decision sooner about fully out, right? And if you really already committed to the fully out because you don't have an in cut here, this horizontal cut is not great. And so if you're going to do that, you're doing that in a way to purposely leave the D space open so that you can cut deep, right? That's your intention if you purposely don't want to go deep earlier, right? So right here, not great, right? The other thing is, one thing to recognize is if that throw goes up right here, right? Oh, it's harder. I think you could still see this, but I, even though if someone is cutting deep, this handler, I know they're cutting up for the another power position, which is decent and fine. Although, just if you recognize that this is there, don't do this cut up because you're just jamming up this thrower with a bunch of defenders, right? And so just recognize that when that is happening, maybe not a great idea to. If again, if that cut is there. If it's not, this is also fine. I know we talked about this. Of once you catch it, you should be looking up line for that cut. Someone should be there. That is the plan when you actually catch it over here to throw it. But if it's not, you see your handler again moving up into power position. Completely fine to just turn and then pop it here for that throw. Right. And again, I think this is the not recognizing when this happens and they catch it up here in power position, they're absolutely momentum. Everything is looking this way. This guy needs to be going here. This is not a horizontal cut, right? So part of Ho is you're kind of always looking for that deep because you're usually on a one-to-one matchup. And you're already right now positionally in a bad spot, right? Ideally, you should be either here, further down, or you're already busting deep in this space if you weren't slowly moving backwards, moving deep here to wait. then this is where we kind of turn it, which is, whatever, things happen. We'll get that over time, but those are some of the places that we can kind of look at. And even here, right, like just look at where we're set up. We have handlers that are super far out. Um, we don't have, we have our cutters over here on the sideline horizontally around the same, right? Even if these throws weren't there, right, this guy cutting deep, this guy needs to fill already, right? This guy needs to be out here, right? So this is part of the whole thing of like we got to keep staying active and making sure we're around 10 to 15 to 20 yards away from that thrower, right? So even though they just made that nice in cut out, we're always running off of that, right? We can kind of see if we move back, right? He made a great cut in, right? Even if he doesn't necessarily fill or make a great cut, these guys got to keep moving down, right? Because we just moved it up here, right? So we need to push it. Cool. So that's that one.